You can look no further than what just happened at the inauguration. You have a female bishop. That's an impossibility. That is not Christian at all. You're not allowed to have female bishops. That is satanic. That's literally satanic to have a female bishop come up and say anything.
Cenk Uygur was a guest on Piers Morgan show, Piers Morgan Uncensored, to debate an absolute lunatic MAGA right-winger named Andrew Wilson. In this section of the debate, they're talking about the bishop who spoke at Donald Trump's inauguration. We're going to take a look at these clips of Cenk Uygur and Andrew Wilson on Piers Morgan Uncensored. I'm going to chime in with my thoughts on this too. This is a good one. Let's get into it together.
You're laughing is because it's true.
Well, Cenk, I'll get you to respond, but first of all, let's play the clip of that bishop, because my objection was actually for different reasons. Let's take a look at it.
I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here.
So, Cenk, I mean, notwithstanding Andrew's position on the fact there shouldn't be a female bishop, but the fact that she was there on such a big historic moment, delivering a kind of scolding woke lecture with Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and their wives sitting there, I just thought it was completely inappropriate. I didn't care who the president was or what the scolding was, but to turn the pulpit into a scolding thing about all America's gay children are going to be running for their lives, I just thought it was completely wrong.
Yeah, Piers, I totally disagree. I loved it, and the reason I loved it is because it's truth to power. And you can say, hey, it's her truth. It's the truth of about half of Americans. It's not necessarily the truth, but at least she's trying to challenge the powerful, and I love that. Look, the reason why a lot of people agree with me is because I challenge the powerful on both sides, on the Democratic side and the Republican side. And that makes the partisans get super mad at me. No, Biden's right about everything. No, Trump's right about everything. No, I love that she spoke for half the country and she said it right to his face. I wish reporters would do that. And I think a lot of the reporters got the message to be softer on Trump. No, be harder on the Democrats and the Republicans and the establishment. Be harder on everyone. So do exactly as she did, even though apparently she's Satan. Brother, look, how can I talk to you, man, when you say such ludicrous things? Do you know that like 95% of Americans, when you say that she's satanic because she's a woman bishop, think that you're nuts? Do you at least understand and acknowledge that?
First of all, they don't. You don't understand anything about the Bible, apostolic succession, church history. You don't know anything about these things, Cenk. You have no idea what you're talking about. First of all, she wasn't speaking truth to power. She was speaking subversiveness to goodness. And that's what's actually going on. And that's what Democrats are great at doing. Sure. Yes, it is completely satanic to have inversion. Inversion is when you take what is considered the Christ head, in this case a bishop, and invert it to a woman. That's what you people are great at doing, is inversion. If you looked at the 2,000 years of Christian history, you would understand this, especially church history, going all the way back to the time of Christ and apostolic succession. People, you can, but the truth is that people get all of their ethics and goodness in this nation from biblical ethics and Christian ethics, not from Cenk Uygur thinks it's neat that a chick can do this. It's like, no, that's not part of our ethical standard there. That's not what it is. We don't have an ethical standard based around your version of the woke Bible. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
When you call a respected bishop a chick and satanic.
Respected by who?
It's funny that you don't see that you lose such a giant percentage of the country. And so, like, guys like this make it nearly impossible for...
I'm going to pause here for just a moment. This guy, Andrew Wilson, is a real creep. So Cenk Uygur, somebody who's a non-Christian, I believe he says he's an atheist, raised as a Muslim. What he's saying here is a better representation of Christianity than this clown, Andrew Wilson, is trying to present here. And a lot of people on the left are not happy with Cenk Uygur. You know, they feel like he's made this rightward shift and he's a grifter and all of that. But he's exactly correct with what he's saying here. And this bishop, all she did was said to Donald Trump to be merciful to gay children and immigrant children and trans children and, you know, other people within those groups who are scared right now. And anybody that thinks that is not a biblical or a Christian message does not know what they're talking about. We've had this insane misrepresentation and misinterpretation of the Bible and Christianity by all of these right-wingers. I mean, this has been going on for a long time, way before Donald Trump. But I've thought for a long, long time, if Christ somehow came back, all of these people like Andrew Wilson, they couldn't wait to all of these people like Andrew Wilson would be falling all over themselves to crucify him all over again. They would be saying, we don't have to listen to what this dumb hippie says, all this woke nonsense. You know, we've had reports over the last few years of ministers doing sermons and homilies and people coming up to them after the service and saying, yeah, I don't like all that woke stuff that you're saying. And the ministers or priests or whoever would say, I'm literally quoting the Bible, things that Jesus said. And these people are like, we don't like it. So they've created this bizarre version. And I mean, I know there are all kinds of problems with Christianity and problems with the Catholic Church, you know, throughout their history and everything. But when you just look at the message of what was purported to have been said by Jesus, it's perfectly in line with what this bishop said. But these MAGA right-wingers like this Andrew Wilson have so bastardized that it doesn't even resemble anything that was once thought to be Christianity. It's incredible.
For a huge part of the country to ever vote for Republicans. Because if you vote for a Republican, you're going to get these ghouls and goblins. And they're going to say, oh, yeah, chicks shouldn't be on bishops, man. It's inversion, dude. It's satanic. You sound insane. You sound, to me, honestly, you sound like you belong in a mental asylum. Or when you call people satanic. What the hell does that even mean?
Are always going to
just because she's a woman, she's satanic in that role. See, that's exactly why I'm a populist, but I can't be populist, right? When guys like
I'm
this
speaking
say
truth
such
to power,
insane things and
What's your
drive
problem? You're
hatred.
huge. I'm
Drive
speaking truth to power.
hatred. You're right. I am
you're
power.
huge.
So keep going.
Remember,
This guy's a gigantic douchebag.
I'm massive. I'm huge. I have this massive audience. So I'm here saying, speaking truth to power. You should be all about that. You should be loving the fact that I'm telling you something now, which is true.
Except you're speaking gibberish to power.
It is.
Is Beelzebub in the room with us right now?
It is an inversion.
Is Beelzebub and Shaitan in the room?
I'm going to stop here. They go on to a different subject. If you want to watch this entire debate between Cenk Uygur and this guy, it's on the Piers Morgan Uncensored channel. But just some final words on this. You know, who knows if this, I don't know this Andrew Wilson guy well enough to know if this is just his grift or if he's actually believes this stuff. But I mean, there are millions and millions of people who actually think this way, that, you know, somehow people saying that people who claim to be Christians who get offended when people say things that are direct quotes from Christ from the Bible, and they say, oh, that's woke, or you're misinterpreting that, or you're a socialist or a communist or whatever. I mean, it's just unbelievable the way they have twisted all of this around to where now you have, you know, half the country or whatever who is upset with a bishop just saying to a president, just be merciful. It's just unreal to me. But let me know in the comments what you think about all this. Do you agree with Cenk Uygur? Do you agree with this Andrew Wilson character, or even Piers Morgan? Piers Morgan was raised Catholic. I think he claims to still be Catholic. And, you know, he talks about that this was the wrong place and the wrong time. Well, then don't have part of the inauguration be held in a church. Just have, you know, I would be perfectly fine with religion completely being removed from all this. I don't really know why part of the inauguration is held in a church anyway. But if they're going to be in a Christian church, they should be accepting a sermon and a speech that is promoting Christian values. Make sure to give me a like and subscribe so I can continue growing my channel. This is Chris on Culture, and I will see you in the next video.